And what will America use for energy? We know that China will use coal since they're building a new coal-fired plant in the equivalent of every week, and oil since they're exploring and drilling and importing an incredible amount of oil. But we, on the other hand, I don't know what we're out of options, really. During this wonderful Earth Week, green is universal, you know, we're commemorating the one-year anniversary of the unthinkable catastrophe in the Gulf. So, we can't drill anymore. I mean, Brazil can, in the same water, but we can't. The Japanese nuclear accident causing alarm over the prospect of nuclear power, and the president, in addition to threatening to bankrupt the coal industry during the campaign, added this gem to the coal industry yesterday.
The challenge with coal is that although it's very cheap, it's also dirty. And it can create the kinds of air pollution that not only is contributing to climate change, but it's also creating asthma for kids nearby.
Kids nearby.
You got asthma. Okay. And so sucking that stuff in is not ideal.
It's causing, for kids, not adults, kids. Really, we should send them directly to the emergency room early, don't you think?
It costs they just gave them treatment early, and they got some treatment and a breathalyzer or an inhalator. Not a breathalyzer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was he thinking an inhaler maybe? I'm not really sure. You give him a breathalyzer test, that might not help an asthma patient, unless we're trying to figure out how much coal dust is in there. Asthma is not caused by coal, Mr. President. Some environmental irritants like pollution can trigger an attack, but coal does not give one asthma. And that's just according to the crazy crackpots at the National Institute of Health. But who's counting here? Let's keep in mind, this president, not really good on medical issues. Remember when he said the doctors were amputating people's feet and tonsils just to make extra cash? Never heard that before, but he has. Back to energy, though. What will power our nation when these guys are through with us? Coal. You know how much, everything that comes out of that little magic little holes in the wall that you like plug things into, it's just magic energy. How much of that is created by coal? 45% of America's energy production, coal. He wants it eliminated. Nuclear, how much? 20%. Oh, this is great. Oil, coal, and nukes, they're off the table. Guess what? According to the Dallas Morning News today, NRG Energy, they're the second largest power generator in Texas, of all places, will be ending a project to build 2 new nuclear reactors. Quote, the project was doomed when a financial partner, Tokyo Electric Power Company, saw its reactors in Japan explode after the earthquake. We have concluded that financially this is the end of the line for us. And even if the project is resurrected, it would have to be fueled by someone else's financial resources. Can I ask you a question? You think there's any chance that all this might be the end of line for all nukes? Do you think? Maybe. And then we get the happy news today from the Supreme Court that they're about to turn over the global warming case to the EPA. The lawsuit in 6 states and New York City to force major power companies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions because of evil coal. Little sick little British children without any pets or a dog, and they're walking with a little, they've got a little, I've got a little limp, I've got to get along, and oh, if I could get home to mommy, but it's all this coal. They have to reduce all of those evil emissions. Now that could be in the hands of the EPA, and that's going to go well. The same EPA who once, until recently, was headed by socialist Carol Browner. I love Carol. Is that a picture of her? No, you don't have it. She later became, there she is. Oh, she's so sweet. We should give her a cape. She later became Obama's climate czar, and now she's gone home to feather her nest in the Center for American Progress, where all good socialists go when they're done at the White House. Hello, George Soros. Good job, Carol Browner. Lisa Jackson is now the current head of the EPA, and she is all about environmental justice and redistribution wrapped in green. Those are quotes. Redistribution wrapped in green. Here she is on environmental justice.
Environmental justice at its root is a recognition that there is unfinished business from the last 40 years, and much of that unfinished business is concentrated in low-income and minority neighborhoods.
Much unfinished business? Here's the EPA. What she could... You know what she's talking about? I think she's talking about redistribution of wealth. What do you think? By the way, Time magazine is running a story now that your ice maker is destroying the planet. I thought making all that white ice would help make things cooler. We don't have any power to make ice makers with, or have power the ice maker to make ice pretty soon. There may not be enough trucks to get household appliances to your home. In California, trucking companies are saying that they may go out of business. Trucking companies, as a result of new state rules from California's Air Resources Board called CARB. And finally, despite what the administration is claiming, the Wall Street Journal has a new report out predicting the deep water oil drilling bans will cut domestic oil production. That certainly isn't helping with the cost of gasoline at the pump, is it? Our offshore production, which mostly comes from the Gulf, is expected to be down 13% this year. What are we going to use for energy? Do we even need energy? I don't need it in third world countries, so I don't have it. Back in a minute. Earlier we told you that more of your money may be going to bail out the banks, another 32% of our GDP. So what can we do about it? Well, The Nation had an idea. Instead of the fake populism of the Tea Party, there's a movement based on real populism. It shows that there's an alternative to making the poor and middle class pay for the crisis caused by the rich. Please be more specific on the rich. The inspiration for the article, a group called UK Uncut. Well, now they have a spin-off. A group that describes itself as a grassroots movement taking direct action against corporate tax cheats and unnecessary, unfair public service cuts all across the U.S. U.S. Uncut is a horizontal movement. There are no centrally planned protests on their website. They have all kinds of great tools there, like they recommend different chants and songs and even signs, like these signs. These are great. America's not broke. Really? It's not? That's weird. I want to show you a recent protest that took place in San Francisco at the Bank of America, which U.S. Cut calls a primary target. Call Sarah Palin, they're targeting somebody. You tell me if they're organized at all.
U.S. Uncut is here. U.S. Uncut is here. U.S. Uncut is here. U.S. Uncut is here, and we're
Dopes. Okay, they brought a marching band. That's a spontaneous marching band. It's like, I happen to have a tuba. You have a drum, please. And the spontaneous dance choreography. Everybody just happened to guess the song lyrics to U.S. Uncut is here. I don't trust U.S. Uncut. You want to know why? Their own website says, also remember to visit U.S. Uncut for some inspiration. See you on the streets. Now they say, go see the UK Uncut. Well, what is the UK Uncut? That's the group that The Nation wrote about. The same group that saw more than 130 members get arrested after the mass protest on March 26th. This is UK Uncut. And they're recommending, go look at these guys. See what these guys are doing, huh? Is that cool? Yeah. That's not the flash mob kind of action that... I kind of like the tuba guys better. I asked you to be a part of Force for Good about a month ago. A flash mob of kindness. Is that happening? That's next. I do ask for your trust on this one thing. If you have noticed at all and kept track of our record, we have a pretty good record on this program of seeing what's coming. And trouble is coming, and we just showed you some more of it. I asked you about a month ago if anybody would do a flash mob of kindness. It's important that you are seen and known by members of your community. For when times break down, there's somebody of sanity they can trust. I asked you a month ago to get a group together and spread some love, organize something, be a force for good, whether it's donating clothing and giving it to a homeless shelter or giving food to a homeless shelter or going to an unemployment office and handing out bags of groceries or helping in a soup kitchen, helping families of the troops. I asked you to come up with ideas and inspire others. Millions of people can make a huge, huge difference. There are others just out there that are out there just like you. Some who are meeting in groups And they're going to be doing things. The Pinellas Patriots in Florida, these are just different groups that are, this is just from meetup.com, these are groups that are doing something tomorrow. Pinellas Patriots in Florida plan to donate a grocery bag of food to a group that helps the working poor each. Omaha, people are gathering to pray and then delivering supplies to an open mission home. Park City, Utah, joining others at a Peace House. It's a shelter for victims of domestic abuse. They're going to be donating Easter baskets to the kids who spend time there. If you do this, people will see you. And what are they going to say? Oh, the Koch brothers are organizing AstroTurf movements to help people. Yeah, diabolical, isn't it? You'd be making a positive difference, helping someone who needs it, and being a beacon of hope. So when times get worse, and you've got the marching band and the let's destroy all capitalism people will look at you and go, I think I'm going to be with you. It's important that you help your neighbors remember these three things: faith, hope, and charity. That project I told you about a month ago is tomorrow. Find out more at freedomconnector.com and Facebook and glennbeck.com, all over. Connect with someone tonight. Make a difference tomorrow. Tomorrow, when you wake up, just think flowers and random acts of kindness. From New York, good night, America.